that is being happening, the mentoring which is going to be happening with the CXO members. So each one of you will be getting a CXO leader. I just wanted to, sort of give a little bit of peek to who the CXO mentors that you could possibly be working with together. This is the governing council, so a couple of these people will actually also be coming and taking sessions along with the faculty, because it's going to be a very, very practically oriented, a program which is going to happen. So, and very, very big names are out here. And these are the CXO club members. So they are CEOs, they are CHROs, they are CFOs, they are CMOs. So depending on your need, we will be sort of matching you with the right mentor backend, and you will be having a one-on-one session for your duration of the program with the mentor. So if you look at it, Rajesh Ramakrishnan is a CEO of Perfetti. He's a CEO, is also an XLR. And so is Rupesh Tripathi, who's a CHR of APMG. But he's in HR. Or if you look at somebody like Apurva, and down, if you go the last person, he's a business person, CEO and MD in Vodafone in Africa. Then you have, these are a couple of names. I mean, I'm just telling you that, it's quite diverse as people, as industries. If you look at the person here, Rajesh Chindal, CMO for UiPath, he was adjudged the CMO of the year in 2021. So across industries, if you look at the names also, if you look at the organizations that they are from the industries that they are from, as diverse as possible. So manufacturing, finance, IT, technology, startups, all of them are there, including a couple of people from the impact space as well, like Sudha Srinivasan. And this is just a list of names. We have more names out there. This is just overview of the some names of the CXO club. So that was around the mentoring bit. Any questions?
I'm hoping this to be a two-way communication process. Yeah, Shweta, you've
unmuted. I wanted to have a few questions maybe initially to get started. So could you talk a little bit in terms of generally how would the program take off? What's the kind of a time commitment that we are looking at, and how it kind of enhances as the program, continues? With like a full-fledged roles, I think, of course, it's obviously going to be demanding. I understand that, but I think just kind of getting a sense in terms of the overall time investment and what's required to kind of keep going through this one, and what are the peak timings and what are the times which could probably be a little bit eased out, because that kind of helps us plan, because you've got your performance management cycles to look after in the organizations and all of those, right? So where do they coincide, and all of that stuff might be just good for us to know, and then kind of.
Absolutely. I will be sharing a presentation right now. Before I show the presentation, are there any other questions around anything else?
And maybe as you kind of talk through, it'll be nice to understand a little bit.
Yeah, I will do that. It's
the mentoring element. Yeah. Like what exactly, when you say mentoring, is it going to be topical? Is it going to be on what exactly?
Okay. Fine. Yes, Neeraj.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So I think I'm keen to understand that, what is the kind of people that should be doing this program, right? I think that's very, very important. And how do you decide that, there may be certain people. So, a lot of people do these programs because who are aspirational CHROs, right? That's one part of it. The second very important part of it is where I can aspire to be a CHRO, but would I really, do I have it in me to become a CHRO, or would I really become a CHRO sometime in the future? So is there any kind of assessment which is part of the admission process, which can really help the candidates? Because doing a program certainly helps, but I think these are questions that I have in my mind. That's one. Second, I have already done a program from XLRI in 2014, which was a postgraduate certificate program in human resource management. Which was a 1-year program, and had the privilege to be in XLRI as well. For a week's time, when we had classes on labor laws from Professor Padi, if I remember him correctly. And so, how would this program be really helpful for somebody like me? Right. So these are a few of my questions. If they can also be kept into consideration while you are going to tell more about the program.
Sure. That's great. We'll take it. Shayan, you have some questions?
Yeah. I have a few questions here. Yeah. So my first question is: once this course is done, now it is said that it is CHRO in the making. So could you focus on the content or the USP of this program, which really defines the term CHRO in the making? And second question is, what about the fees financing part? How it works, and how it's taken care of? So I think to start off with, these are the two questions that I have.
Sure. Very good. I've taken the points. So let's start off. I think before I take the next questions, I think once
I think Sharvari has raised the hand, so if you can take that question.
Okay, Sharvari.
Hi, Rashmi. Sharvari here.
Yeah.
I had a question that what is the kind of placement support that will be provided after completion of this 2 years course? So will there be any support at all? And if yes, then what is it that will be provided?
Yeah. Okay. So let me just answer all these questions, starting from Shweta's question around a general idea about how the program will, proceed. So just wanted to share the slides. So it's a 24-month program because it's going to get AICTE recognition. So it's but there would be 16 to 17 months of live sessions, 5 to 6 months of which will be post-that will be of project work and dissertation work. There will be 4 terms of 4 months each. So actually 16 months, 4, 4, 4, 4. But each may there is going to be 1 month of holiday, so it becomes 17 months. The orientation or the induction will be in end of February. We're looking at February 27th, February 26th and February 27th. As of now, it will be an online induction. And the actual classes start on 20th of March, 2022. So this is the broad detailing around the times that you will do. Now let's get into a little more detail. So how many contact sessions in a week? Contact session will mean that you will be meeting up with your professors twice a week for 4 hours each. And they also feel that each you need to give a break between 2 days. So they're looking at a Friday and a Sunday right now, but they're also open to sort of seeing if there is some necessity where Saturday needs to be added or there needs to be some other day. So they could look at that. They're looking at 2 sessions of 2 hours each in those 4 hours with a 15 minutes break between two subjects. There will be 2 different teachers coming in for 2 of the sessions every contact session that you are doing. The Friday session is looking with course 1 will start at 7 p.m. to 8:55 p.m. So about 2 hours. And the course 2 on the same day with a break of about 15 minutes. And then the course 2 will start at 9:10 p.m. to 11 p.m. So that's on Friday. And then on Sundays, again, the same time, it will start at 6 p.m. to go until 8 p.m. and 7:55, then 8:10 p.m. to 10 p.m. So that's what they're looking at. But they're also open to looking at saying, let's start with these classes at this point of time. And they have the flexibility to, sort of change depending on the larger, group. If they feel that there needs to be some change in the timing, etc., they're willing to look at that. So as of now, this is what it is. The total terms, as I said, will be 4 terms of actual learning, and the 5th term is going to be your actual dissertation and project work. So this is how the dates are. It starts on 20th March. The term 1 goes up till 30th of July, 2022. Term 2 starts off in 5th of August and goes till 9th of December. Term 3 starts on 11th of December and goes till 1st of April. Then there's an annual break of a month from 2nd of April to 6th of May next year. Then the final term, actually learning term is 7th of May till 30th of September. And term 5th, which is basically, it's going to be, more around project work, dissertation, and capstone project, etc. That will go on from October till March of 2024. So there's going to be 3 campus visits in the NCR campus. They would love to, sort of host you all in Jamshedpur, but considering the fact that it's a little, difficult reaching that place, and Delhi becomes a little more central, so they were looking at the Jhajjar campus. But they're very open to doing, if you all feel that you all want to do one session of it in Jamshedpur, they would love to do that rather than in Jhajjar. So these are the dates that they're looking at. And on these days, it's going to be 8 hours of learning every day, because you have to, sort of, as per AICTE rules, you have to, sort of finish your number of hours of learning. So they're going to be making it up in these, campus visits that will happen. And this also will be great because you will also end up meeting the entire class. You will meet, we'll also be getting in a couple of, CXO leaders there, except, and of course the facilitators and the faculty will also be there. So it'll be good for you all to, sort of also build your network in these physical sessions.
I have a question on that one. So just in case somebody has official commitments and kind of there's a clash with these dates, is there an option, or how does it impact the program participation?
So it will depend, because as of now they're looking at these days as and with the, when there was this open house which had happened 2 days back, and there were a couple of people who had said that don't look at it at the at the month end, try and do it in the middle of the month, etc. So XLRI is looking at it. So they would be looking at you coming and sort of because the notice has been given well in advance to all the students. So they would really expect you to be there because there's also going to be about 80% attendance that needs to happen. So, but if there is a very, you all are working professionals. They also understand that you all are very busy individuals. They'll have to take a call case to case, but they're not very, though there is a little bit of discipline that is required, but they will listen to what you have. And if it's a very, very, real time and real issue that cannot happen, and I'm sure they will take a call around it on a case to case basis. That way, Professor Prem Rajan has been very, very flexible and open around this entire part. So program curriculum, they're looking at about 36 courses in this 2 years that they're looking at, few courses of 15 hours and few courses of 25 hours. This will also include the mentoring and career services. Duration of a particular course is about 20 hours on an average. And then it's dissertation projects and asynchronous modules. So there is also going to be asynchronous learning, which is that you do it in your own pace at your own time. So that also gets covered in your learning hours as well. Program curriculum, Excel faculty from different areas of expertise to join as faculty. About a third of the courses will be taught by faculty from international B schools. So about, they're looking at a substantial amount of hours to be taken by facilitators from outside of India. A couple of them are being Brockbank, David Krasinski from the University of Michigan. Then there is, Gyan Nagpal, who is a visiting professor in NCR. So they are, sort of, as of now, they have sort of finalized the list of names, and you will come to know during your induction as well who are the people and what subjects that they will be taking. And most of the courses will have an industry practitioner sharing experiences, and that will come from the CXO club. I talked to you about that. A couple of them will also be working as faculty to, sort of talk about, the entire program modules, etc. This is a broad program of architecture where the entire idea is CHROs in making. You all are, average experience of the group of people who have got selected in the program is about 14 to 15 years. So they're not going to be teaching you HR. What they're going to be doing is that they're going to be looking at you as a stepping stone to take on, CXO roles, leadership roles. How do you sort of impact a board? How do you impact the entire executive committee? That is what they would be teaching you skills around. So if you look at it, it's very, 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 very well thought through kind of a, program architecture, where it starts with leading the external environment. So they're talking about leadership of the external environment. They're talking about leading business. They're talking about digital future of work, etc. Then they're talking about actual leading your business, which is your HR business. And they're talking about going deeper into it, which is basically HR transformation and focus around culture, talent, workforce, trusted advisor, enterprise change leader, operational excellence, diversity, equity, and inclusion, industrial relations. And and side by side with this is what they're wanting to look at is this entire stuff around how as a leader you will be growing in all these tracks that you're looking at, some track 1 to track 5F. So they're talking about how you sort of have a personal mastery around all of these tracks. So there'll be a leading self, a lot of work around self, which they will also be working around with you. So leading the external environment, leading the business, and leading the human capital so that you can go and get the business to win in the market is what they are going to be looking at. And this entire program architecture was actually academically conceptualized by XLRI, and Professor Prem Rajan is a big researcher and has written a couple of great books as well around competencies. But it's also got validated from practitioners, the CXOs and CEOs, not CHROs, but CEOs, because they wanted to understand what did they want from the CHRO. So they actually spoke to about 50, 60 odd CEOs to figure out what kind of CHROs are required in the current sphere of work. So this is there. So major subjects that which they're talking about is strategy. They're talking about human resource management and organizational behavior. And these are all a couple of the subtopics. Then they're talking about general management and finance. They've in fact taken out a couple of these programs. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, can you go back to the previous slide? So a lot of these, and please pardon my ignorance here, a lot of the topics that you mentioned here, may be part of a lot of, normal MBA programs, right? A lot of things that you mentioned here. So is this really going to be a differentiator with respect to these topics? Because I'm sure a lot of people who have done their MBA would have already covered these topics while doing their MBAs.
Yeah,
so
I think on that one, and I think just building up on one of the comments Neeraj Mehra was making earlier when he done an HR certification from XLRI, just would like to understand, like, how is this course curriculum typically different from a 1-year certification, HRM certification of Excel? Maybe that might be good for us to know.
Okay, so I think Neeraj and I don't know who else was there. I couldn't see her, but if a institute is running parallel programs, of course the content will be sort of the content and the delivery of the content will of course be very, very different. So and I totally agree that if you're looking at human resource management and organizational behavior, these are the regular subjects which are there. And if you're talking about sort of these tracks, which is about culture, talent, workforce strategy, enterprise change, DEI, industrial relations, operations, I mean, these will end up being the same topics which are there, but how they are delivered and the kind of case studies that is being discussed, and how we are getting the the industry practitioners delivering it, that is where the difference is going to be coming in. It will also be coming in the fact that it is not going to be a general MBA program, which MBA programs are being run, HR MBA programs are run. This is going to be delivered with a focus around people who are in the group with about 15 years of work experience. So they definitely will not be telling people what they will be teaching in their flagship program, which is for undergrads. I mean, people who are just finishing the graduation coming there. So again, the topics would be similar, but the how it is sort of each topic is taken and how it is dissected and what is done out of it is what will be the important part here. And these are the stuff which is it. Mayank, you want to add in something here?
I will just add here to Shweta's point. Shweta, when we are looking at a certification program 1 year, and this is not me speaking, it's basis our conversation with XLRI on the design and the curriculum and the structure and all of that.
Yeah.
And they are of the opinion they do that in their programs is certification program touches upon topics and moves on. It doesn't go deeper. So there is more width to it, but no depth to it. Okay. That's the way it works with all the universities. We are talking to IMB now. We're talking to other universities as well. And that's how the structuring happens. Neeraj, to your point, when we're looking at a curriculum or a design, as Rashmi was just talking about, the context in which it is designed. So don't go by the name of the topics. The context with which it is designed and the way it is delivered. These two pieces make the differentiation happen for the content piece, right? From an instructional design perspective, I'm saying. So when I'm looking at a context on this slide, as you see it, from personal mastery to mastering the external environment and all that in between goes in making somebody a CHRO in future relevant talent, then how I engineer and design the mentoring piece around it, the delivery of the curriculum, and how the curriculum flows from the international community of facilitators and designers to India and to this audience, which is of the entire Asian countries coming together. It is a very different content that what you see in a undergrad MBA program or a working executive MBA program. And that's why I started off by saying that this is the first time they're going for a premium program setup. And when I say that, I really mean it, because that's why they got the CXO community to come and input into the curriculum. They got the practitioners to come and input into the curriculum, and they also got the international academicians to come and input into the curriculum. And as we talk, the international faculties are actually giving away what are the international pieces that are coming together as building blocks for curriculums for making talent future ready. And as we're going into the new normal. So all this research that we are reading now, Neeraj and everyone else, we're reading a lot of white papers around new world of work, the capabilities that will be relevant, how it's shifting for people, how it's shifting for businesses, how HR roles will be transforming and transcending into something very different. All that has been coming into consideration of making this program come to life. So when this program gets delivered, it takes care of those aspects. So I'm requesting everyone not to go by the labels there, but what will sit inside as a content, as a design, and as a delivery, that will be very, very contextual and very different and much in line with the future world of work. If that answers, Shweta and Neeraj, your questions.
Yeah. And Shweta and Neeraj, also, the certificate programs does not have the international faculty, it does not have an XCXO club. It does not have all the other features that we're talking about, disruption of work, and it doesn't tell you that you're becoming a CHRO in the making. Here, if you look at a couple of these things also, finance and, general management and finance, they will be actually looking at, if you look at it, corporate governance, they're looking at, strategic communication. So they will actually be looking at getting a CFO to, sort of come and, sort of give the real practical know-how and knowledge around this entire stuff. If they're talking about, something around, innovation and design thinking, etc., that we're also talking to the top 5 consulting firms, to come and, Deloitte to come and talk about what is, the future of work looking like. How is it, disrupting change, and how is change happening, and what do organizations need to come and say? So there's a lot of practical concepts and application which gets discussed in the class, which is very, very, it's not very it's not theoretical, but it's very applicable. Practical and application oriented kind of delivery, which is going to be happening, which is very different from a certificate program. And as what Mayank said, certificate program will just touch upon things. Here, it will actually get into deeper topics. We're looking at it, each topic they're talking about 20 hours, spending 15 to 25 hours. So it's going to be very, very deep. And these are the big topics. Strategy. I mean, nobody says spend so much of time on strategy. There's actually a general management stuff that they're going to be teaching you all about. Of course, HR management and OB, because it's a HR, CHRO program. but again, equal focus around general management and finance, IT and operations.
Sure.
And these are a couple of these things which are there. And you'll get in more details once you, on the orientation date, this will again be, sort of shelled out very, very clearly. So that's around the detailing around the course. So I think your question around time commitment was answered.
Rashmi, hi, sorry to interrupt. Sharvari here.
Yeah, sure.
This slide that you just showed, what does that indicate? Is it number of hours? 50, 100? What does that mean? The last slide?
Yeah. These are number of hours, yeah.
So in term 5, you mean to say 50 hours?
So term 5, we said, no, there's not going to be learning. There's not going to be
Correct.
classroom learning. This is all what's going to happen. That 5-6 months that you will be left alone. So there will be an actions research project. There will be, mentoring, which is going to be happening. There is asynchronous learning, which is going to be happening. Mentoring is happening from term 1 onwards.
Okay. What do you mean by action research here?
So if I may hear, Rashmi.
Yeah.
All right. So Sharvari, as any international program, if you look at, so that's where the, as I was talking just a while back, the international academicians, the CXO community has come down and designed the whole piece with XLRI. They're looking at action research, which is you have that opportunity of going back into your system and doing and implementing whatever is the research work that you agree with the profs. Okay. And you go in, for example, if it's change management, or if it's something to do with PMS, or if it's something to do with talent management, you can pick up any of the research topics, and whatever frameworks, tools, tackles that you're learning in the program, you can go and implement it there and go back and submit your report around it. The capstone project, though, what the design is saying is it can be a possibility where a small group of people come together and they take up one project with an organization or industry and go deeper into that and go back and share their insights from that group working. So that's how this has been engineered. If that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, cool.
Not typically an organization sponsored program, and I'm not sure if I got you right here, Mayank. You said that
Yes.
the action research, you basically pick up a project and go back to your organization and implement.
You can go back to your organization and do it with your organization.
But that's not a mandate, right? Because a lot
That's
of
not a mandate.
organizations may or may not.
Absolutely. So just to give you an example, when I was doing my program with INSEAD a while back, many years back, in fact, so when I took up the research project, I did not do with Samsung, which was my sponsoring organization, but I did it with some other organization and went back and did a research submission to them. But when I did a capstone project, I was doing it with a group of people, and I went to that organization with those group of people and went back as a group inside to the organization. Yeah. And there was a question or a statement that was mentioned by somebody in the chat box. So if there's a sponsorship from the organization mandatory, no, it's not. It's completely up to the candidate who's coming for the program. If the organization that he's coming from is sponsoring his or her program, we have 80% plus people coming in personal capacity and doing the program for now, as we speak.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
So there were some questions around, so what kind of people are attending the sessions? And what
Yes.
is the
Neeraj had asked that question, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, as I said, I've already given, it's about, in the general batch size, which is coming up, we're looking at a batch size about 40-45 people who will be there. And we've actually got about, 50 selections already. So they actually go through a interview process. You actually put in your registration, and then you go for an interview. There's only about 50% people who actually get selected in the interview. And once you get selected, then you actually get into the program. So there is a selection criteria to get into the program. But the average batch size, the average experience of the group is about 15 to 16 years. There are people from all kinds of industry. There are people from outside of India as well. All these people are already, senior leaders in their organizations. A couple of them are also HR leaders in smaller companies, but they want to get a little more larger perspective around what's happening in larger organizations and how they could grow into, maybe bigger organizations. There are a lot of people, couple of people who have also are the second in command or the third in command within the current organization, and they are looking at it as a stepping stone to move into larger roles in their organization or outside their organization. So that is also there. So there was this entire questions around placement as well. So we give you all the networks, we give you all the platform and the skills to sort of make you successful. So it's not like a placement thing because all of you are working professionals. What we guarantee you is that we will give you interviews with 3 interviews post completion of this program towards the end, so that you could look at moving to a different role. But we're not guaranteeing placement, and that we want to put it on the table here. But because we will also be, giving you access to the entire CXO club, we'll also be having networking events. You will be having your own CXO leader as a mentor. We would expect that, via this entire journey, the mentor and the entire community will end up becoming your sponsor. And it will also depend on what you get into this entire, the entire program as well. So, but the entire thing is that we're giving you the platform with skills, with networks, and with access. And it's all how you all, sort of make use of that. I hope that answers the question, Sharvari. Then there was this question around fees and financing part. We have, a partner. We partnered with Axis Bank as a partners around, loans. And they've given us a very, very competitive rate, which is very different from what the market that they charge in. So in case you are, looking at, some amount of financial support, then we will be able to connect you to our relationship manager, which are there in a couple of cities across India, to, help you with your loan needs. So that is the question around finance support. Anything that I missed out?
Rashmi, I had just one question.
Yes.
Yes, Chaim.
Yeah, I just have a question now. In one of your slides, you showed, I think it was second or third slide, you showed that on Friday and Sunday there are classes. There are classes now. Like for people like us, we have a Monday to Friday full-time office, right? So Friday timing means, is it Friday or is Saturday, Sunday? Because the last executive course that I had done from IIM Lucknow, it was like Saturday evening and Sunday evening. So that was more comfortable. So here it's Friday and Sunday. Sunday is fine, but what about Friday? Because Friday, I believe that even people who are speaking in this forum, most of them would be in their offices. Friday is an office day, full day.
Yeah, but Friday, the office time usually gets over by 6. This program is going to start at 7 p.m. So XLRI is of the view that, they wanted to give a break between 2 contact days, because they're saying there's a lot of learning which needs to happen, but you all need to do it on your own, individualized learning that you all need to do. So you need that break in the middle. So that's why they were looking at a Friday and a Sunday. But as I said, I mean, of course, they're looking at definitely 2 days, 2 week, a weekday and a weekend. But that can also, I mean, depending on what, if the larger group, once you all start the classes, and if the larger group feels that there is some amount of change which needs to be done, then XLRI is open to consider it, considering the fact that you all are working professionals. And this is the first time that they're actually, sort of going to be doing this program, which is like a premium program for you all. And as I said, the attendance is going to be 80%. So, and the last 6 months also is, there is no contact hours as such, because it's all going to be around, so it's just about, sort of managing time and, figuring it out how you all will need to manage it. But yeah, the entire idea was that we realized that Friday, the office day will be there, but and because it's going to be an online class, so we thought that it will be start at 7 p.m. in the evening.
So Friday, say for example, if it's Friday, so Friday is at 7 p.m., right?
Yeah.
Friday, 7 p.m. Then the next class is on Sunday.
Sunday, as of now, it's 6 o'clock, but there could be a possibility that it can get a little more, in the afternoon, like at 2 o'clock as well.
So that means either on Friday or Saturday, we have got one class each day, right?
No. You've got 4 hours of contact. 2 subject teachers will come in, and
Okay.
each subject teacher will take 2 hours class each.
Okay.
So even if you say, for example, miss the 7, or you come, I'm sure they will be allowing people in the class even if they're a little late. But for example, if you say that I cannot, the next class is starting at 9 o'clock in the night.
Right.
So you can join the second class, which will happen. So 2 teachers on a day, and each teacher will take 2 hours each. That's the plan. Yeah.
Right. And second one is regarding this campus visit that I've seen. So campus visit, how mandatory it is?
See, campus visit is required because you get to meet the entire group. It also helps in the entire networking aspect. And there's also a 80% attendance, which is there, which is mandated by the university. And see, doing weekend classes, if you keep on doing it, then the course will go on for 4 years. So they actually need you all to come in. And I said it's going to be an 8-hour sessions on those days. It'll be like full days of
Very intense.
a very intense study which will happen there. So that is how also they sort of finish the mandated AICT hours of learning on the campus. So it is important that you be there.
Okay. And finally, on the financing part, so someone from the partner I think Axis Bank is a partner. So will someone be contacting us?
Yeah. So Priya and Harshita both will be able to contact you, connect you to the person.
Okay, fine. I think that's all from my end.
Yeah, so Chayan, Priya, Harshita will connect with you with the details of the loan partner.
Okay, thank you for that.
I don't have a question, but just based on my past experience with XLRI, the timings that have been given of 6 to 9 in the night, on Fridays and Sundays, even a late evening timing, to me sounds quite reasonable and good actually. Because when I did my first program from XLRI, we used to have Friday 6 to 9, but the Sunday classes used to be 2 to 5 in the afternoon. So neither I had anything to do, and I had no option to do anything on Sunday morning, and neither in the Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm actually happy that the timing has been proposed like this, and Chayan, you would really enjoy going to the campus, honestly, because right, because it's completely different experience. When we were there last time in XLRI, we were staying in the same room as any XLRI student stays, and it has a small room with a chair, so you get the the right experience as well.
Okay.
Right? So you would really enjoy that. So that's my experience. So just thought of sharing that on to the group there.
Right. Great.
That's good to know. So Shweta, you have this question saying, why is this categorized as a diploma course since it's also inclusive of dissertation and capstone project? So that's why, because the regular degree program is known as a diploma. This is actually a degree program. Their flagship program is also a diploma program. So that is how it is. That's why it's called a diploma program, and it's an academic program for them. So it's not a certificate.
So like CHRO in the making, what is the full name of the program? What is the program formally known?
XLRI PGED HR.
Okay.
Postgraduate Executive Diploma in HR.
Okay. And it's a 2 years.
Yeah, it's a 2-year program. Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
But we also realize that as working professionals, 2 years becomes a long time, and but because it is going for AICT recognition, etc. So there is AICT mandates this as the requirement in terms of hours of learning. Yeah, 1,400 hours of learning is required.
Yeah. Right. And I'm sure that after the program is over, I think everyone gets the alumni status of there.
Yeah, it's full alumni status, full 100% alumni. It's like you are a part of XLRI. You actually get into the alumni.
Equivalent to the full-time undergrad program alumni status.
Yeah, full-time. It's a full, and so you were saying, what is the placement opportunity? The point is, you all start moving in that network. And it's such a big network, and all the Excel people. I mean, they get access to a lot of great jobs. Absolutely. So you get into that network. And even their regular Excel alumni, there is an alumni leader, and they have this networking chapters across various cities, a very, very strong network. So it really, I mean, automatically, you get access to a lot of jobs. Just being a part of the network. Yeah, it's very, very strong network.
Absolutely.
Rashmi, hi, Shadvari here.
Yeah.
So I missed the session which happened 2 days back with the head of this particular program. So what were the key takeaways then? So
I just
anything
showed the
different?
presentation. That was the takeaway.
The same thing was discussed
Yeah.
then as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the entire thing was around what will be the curriculum looking like, what will happen. So he, of course, he's the faculty, so he did explain it a little more in detail. But yeah, basically, it was also a lot of questions around logistics, like you all are asking. So, and those were the people who already got selected in the program.
Okay. And Rashmi, just one small thing, like the presentation which you showed was very good. So, like, means the brochure that we will get will contain the same content which you showed in the presentation.
Didn't get that.
Yeah, I meant to say the info brochure that you have here, that there is an option where you can go for an info brochure. So does it have the same content of the presentation, indicating hours and
We
all
will
those?
share. If you want, we will share this presentation with you all. That's not
I think that would be great. That would be.
But once you start the program, there will be a every student will get a dossier which will have all these details, which will have much more details, is
Right,
what I would think. Yeah.
Correct. Fine.
Yeah, hi, Rashmi. This is Prashant.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, while we've discussed many points over here, and there's a clear-cut presentation, just curious to know on how is the assessment going to be like? You said it's going to be an intensive program, spanning around 35 odd modules. So just curious to know how the assessments are going to look like.
So this question came in the last session when Professor Premrajan was there. So it's going to be continuous assessment that that they want to do, and once they finish the term, I mean 3-4 months ka jo term hota hai, they will be finishing a particular topic and immediately doing the next week they will be doing an exam. That's what they're wanting to. So if in a term there are 6 topics, and the first
Per course basis.
per course you will be giving an exam. And they're saying that, because they also understand that you all are working professionals, so they're making it a little more flexible for you all from a university perspective as well. It's not like, you will only sit because there'll be an exam and that is an exam day which is going to be coming in, etc. So they will be working it around in this entire, time that has been told to you around those times only. So if I finish my topic today, then next week, next Friday, I might be having my exam, which could again, my assessment, which could again be from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long or how short the course was.
So are these going to be like MCQs, or it's going to be like an exam?
That clarity we don't have, but you could check with. I'm sure it could be a mix of both. And the exam also, I think they're going to be doing that e-assessment kind of thing, which is an online, what do you say, proctored kind of exam, which happens. So that's what it's going to be happening.
Yeah,
okay,
I think Neeraj is there, who has already done a course, so maybe he would be able to enlighten us about the MCQ or subjective.
But that was some 6-7 years back.
Yeah, but for this one, it would be a bit different.
Yeah.
The designing of the assessment would happen accordingly, because the working executives and very senior executives would be a part of the cohort.
Correct.
So they're looking at per course basis. They might give you an intimation of that prior to a week or 2 weeks. It would have combination of pieces. It could even have submission of some reports that you might be working on while you're working.
Also. Yeah, it could be a presentation.
Things like that. It could be senior stuff. It won't just be simply going for MCQs or something like that, right?
Yeah, based on my past experience, I think it was a combination of many things.
Correct, absolutely.
Right? It was an MCQ, then we had to write our own assignments.
Yes.
We used to do group projects. There were individual projects.
Yeah, right.
Right. And then there were, at times we also had to do certain interviews amongst ourselves to do, and there were recordings done. So I'm sure, we will be a notch above in this program on these things.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, so there's a question from Pooja saying, has leader designed executive programs with other B schools? So right now we are speaking to IIM Bangalore. And as we speak, we're also speaking to two international universities. One is University, Cornell University and UCLA in US. So we are talking to them. But yeah, the XLRI is our flagship program as well.
What kind of programs are those going to be? Are they also going to be in the space of talent and HR?
No, so those we are looking at, one program we are looking at is a HR technology program that we're looking at, but it'll be a certificate program. The other programs that we're looking at are more around digital marketing and product marketing. So
yeah,
those are the two areas that we're looking at.
Got it. And I think what I gathered now is that the kind of time commitment is obviously more than about 8 hours a week. So it's, of course, 8 hours is like mandatory. And then what I got from the message is 1 hour of a mentoring in a month. And then apart from that, obviously there is these assessments. And so you need to kind of give time to these as well, right? So like the whole preparation. So I'm assuming that typically this would end up being at least another 7 to 8 hours a week over and above what we are talking here.
Not necessarily another 7 to 8 hours
at least, but 1 to 2 hours for sure.
Hours, yeah.
Because then you will actually, sort of, if you want to be totally updated on what was taught in the class, it's good to, sort of do your own self-study for an hour, at least after one 4-hour session.
See, also when you're getting access, and this is for everyone, when you're getting access to a CXO community who is mentoring you and then you're networking and it's in a context that you're doing a networking there, right? It's not a NHRD kind of a networking where you walk into a hall and you just say hi, hello to somebody and walk out of the hall, right?
Yeah.
This is where you're talking about the capability, the kind of learning you're having, what you have spoken in the international community of academicians. You're talking about some insights you've had with some certain programs, certain organizations, certain context, certain business, certain market. It's a very different conversation. It's a very different level of conversations that you're doing. And believe you me, it gives a very different insight into a human being from a talent perspective to senior executives or CXOs of organizations. That's one. The second is, since it's a serious business, it would require some kind of intelligent investment into self. When I say intelligent, I'm using that word very consciously, that you have 8 hours of sessions, but you might just very, very smartly pick up those pieces and go into your organization and just work around those pieces in a very intelligent way in what you do every day and go back again and just contribute to the another 8 hours in the subsequent week, right? You may not have to engineer it separately is what I'm saying, because the program is built in such a manner that it just embeds into what you're doing on a daily basis. And that's the idea, so that it becomes more meaningful and more real. And that's why the program is taking up an international format in a certain sense, right? So that's how the program is going to get designed. And it's from a practitioner lens. It's not academic lens for sure. That's how the program is being looked at. That's just a perspective. I thought I'll just share that. Any more questions before we come to a closure?
Mayank, hi, Sharvari here.
Yes.
I understand this is the first kind of program, but what is the competitive space of this program currently in India?
When you say competitive space, what do you mean by that?
A similar kind of program by any other institute? Or same
For
kind of
CHROs, I don't think there's a similar program in India, but definitely it's been pegged by Wharton University for sure, which is a purely online, program. A simple, you come on the asynchronous or synchronous self-paced video learning and you get a certificate from them, which is a CHRO certificate.
Right, I've seen about Wharton.
Correct. So that's about it. You don't have a program like this, which is a diploma AICT approved program. with such a configuration, I don't think there is any.
Okay.
Not only in India, but also in the Middle East or Asia or anywhere else.
Okay. And all the
Yes.
sessions will be live sessions. There won't be any
Yes,
recorded
these are
sessions.
not recorded sessions for you.
Okay.
Only if you miss a session, you can go back and see the recording.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think-
Shayan.
Yeah, so I think, at the end, if you just send the PPT for us, so it will be very good for us to plan as well. And accordingly,
Sure.
we can plan our organization schedule as well as the.
Makes sense.
So just wanted to give you all a little bit of context about seeing this. We are closing our nominations, our registrations by the end of this month, I think 31st. 7th of February, sorry. And but there is this interview which is going to be happening on the 29th, right?
It's on the 28th as well as in the first week of February.
Yeah. So if it would be really nice that you all could sort of end up registering yourself on the site. You have to give a 2,500 sort of registration money onto that. Put in your profile. And then we call you for an interview. Shweta is also asking for any guidance on the interview process. Once you enroll, Mayank can maybe actually call up each participant and actually really help them out on the interview process as well, one-on-one. So that will also going to be happening.
In fact,
So-
I would suggest why not go for the interview at least. Register, go for the interview, see if you get selected. And if you are selected, then you make a choice whether you want to enroll or not.
Yeah.
Right.
So
One question. So you mentioned about these interviews. So interviews are going to be taken by the XLRI authorities or?
yeah.
Yes, XLRI professors are there. 3 professors sit in the interview.
Okay.
And it's kind of a nice conversation that they have with the candidate. It's sharing of information, both the sides, but they are really keen to look at how passionate the candidate is, to look at his career path and the journey forward. What kind of things they have done in the HR space, what kind of challenges they have addressed in the HR space, etc., etc. So it's kind of a very, very meaningful, nice conversation that people have.
Great.
So Chris has already
and-
put in the link to register. So please, we don't have too much of time. The last chance actually to join the program.
It's 28th of this month, yes.
Yeah. So just put in your registrations and just go for the interview. And we look forward to sort of having you in the program.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Priya and Harshita will be in touch. So, but please do put in your registration at least, and then let's take it forward. Yeah. And thank you for taking out time and being very invested in and asking this query. So it showcases your interest in the program as well. So thank you so much for that.
And we'll get the PPT today, I believe.
Yeah, Priya, Chris, can you just WhatsApp them?
Yeah, we will WhatsApp.
Send an email to all the people who have come in today.
Sure, we will do that.
Yeah, the PPT and the link, if it is emailed, I think that would be great.
Yeah, that
Will do. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining
Thank
in.
you so much,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Bye.
Thank you everybody for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.